Voting here in Australia is compulsory. Here's the history of that. Only 71% of eligible voters rocked up to the 1919 federal election. In 1922, it went down to less than 60%. The government at the time, which was Conservative, did nothing about this. It wasn't until 1924 that a private member's bill was passed to amend the Electoral Act to make voting compulsory. Then, in the 1925 election, 91% of people voted. Apathy and cynicism about elections are discouraged in Australia, and we even make voting fun. The schools that act as polling places for the election sell democracy sausages. Australians have embraced democracy sausages and vegan democracy sausages and all the other variations. The money helps the schools, the voters get a snack, everybody wins. But to get to the point of this video, political movies are fun too. And like the Liberal Party here in Australia always say about themselves, political films are a broad church. We have political comedies, dramas, and tragedies. We have assassinations, aspirations, apocalypses, conspiracies, curmudgeons. We have the past, the present, and the future. Political movies can also be a kind of science fiction. In a sense, some of them are what-if stories. What if a single American president fell in love? What if a military general planned a coup d'etat against a president? What if the USA accidentally launched a missile against Russia and the president was a moral man? What if a corrupt president got a brain injury during the Depression and turned America into an even worse place? There are also political movies that are based on roman éclats, fiction based on real people. Both versions of All the King's Men, the 1949 original, which is the best, and the 2006 remake, were roman éclats, as was Primary Colours. All the King's Men was based on Louisiana Governor Huey Long, and Primary Colours was about this guy. Political comedies are... You can go from vicious satire like Wag the Dog, and Armando Iannucci's In the Loop, Tim Robbins' Bob Roberts, and Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, to whimsical comedies like The Chiltern Hundreds and The Honourable Wally Norman, which satirised the electoral process itself, but in a much more gentle way. You also get uncomfortable political comedies like Alexander Payne's Election, and broad comedies like The Campaign. You even get groovy 1960s comedies like Ted Flicker's The President's Analyst starring James Coburn. You get political horror movies. Stephen King's The Dead Zone is at its heart a political movie. Johnny Smith's prophetic psychic powers allow him to understand and head off the insanity of a political candidate called Greg Stilson, whose ascendancy to the presidency would lead to an apocalypse.
The missiles are flying. Hallelujah.
On a lighter note, you have 1973's The Werewolf of Washington, which combines lycanthropy with a satire of Nixon's presidency. There's an innate drama to any political film. At their heart, they're about the way we see and develop our civilization. They're about the clash of ideas and philosophies, privilege versus aspiration, of the new versus the old, wisdom versus selfishness, and wealth versus need. They're about how we plan and achieve the future. As politics changes, and we've seen a lot of changes in the last few years, political movies are going to change too, but they're always going to be part of cinema. Even in countries that repress political movies, we still see political movies. They get made by expatriates in other countries. So political cinema can be dangerous cinema too. It analyses and threatens the status quo. It can challenge us to build a better future and acknowledge the social crimes of the past. Like democracy sausage, it isn't always good, but it's the fact that it exists that matters. Like our ousted ex-Prime Minister said.
Lord Church.
Thanks for watching. There'll be another video out in a week or so. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to subscribe, please subscribe. You can also be a Patreon supporter of the podcast by going to patreon.com/paleocinema. I'll see you soon.